You may have probably spent hours studying and spending nights, sleepless nights studying for an exam, only for the results to come out, and you get to find out that you failed. Actually, you understand, you failed. And this is something that has been disturbing, you understand. If it haven't happened to you, then I think it has happened to your friend, or you know someone that such a thing has happened to, especially they just concluded jam exam, you understand. There's a jam exam, that's the jam UTME, right? A lot of students read, you understand. A lot of students met me and told me they read and stuff like that, but when the results came out, they got to find out that they were having lesser than what they have ever expected or what they have imagined before in their life. And at times, this is not a result of system error, you understand, but this can also stem from the way you read, you understand. So in this video, I'm just going to show you some reasons why you spend hours studying but you're not scoring high, and how you can be able to fix this before your next exam, especially if you want to be writing an exam like post UTME. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, my name is Basi Ejogba. I'm a 400 level student at the University of Calabar studying medical laboratory science, and in my channel I help students level up their academic game. I also share full tips on the channel focusing on personal development. So if you love content like this, please don't forget to hit on the red subscribe button so I can continue getting updates each time I drop videos like this, and so that you can help me grow. Just like I say, what is the major reason a lot of students spend hours studying only for them to find out that the result starts coming out and they failed? It has happened to me before, but this happened to me when I was in my my year two first semester. I spent hours studying, only for the result to come out, and I wasn't scoring high. I was getting D, C, D, C. But my effort was supposed to reflect at least A, B, A, B. You understand? So I had to get these tips, you understand, which I found out the reason and I got to see the solutions. Number one is that you study without a goal. You understand? You study without a goal. You just carry a book and you want to study. You understand? You just want to study, like no goal. You are not there to cram, like you're not there to get anything. You understand? You're not there to get anything. Let's say, okay, you want to study for biology, you understand? You want to study your biology, right? Now you say you want to study biology, it is not just biology. There are a lot of topics inside that biology. You understand? A goal simply means what is the major reason you want to study your biology. Okay, let's say, okay, I want to study my biology because I want to understand ecology. You understand? You get to find out that this is more direct than just I want to study my biology. Or you can say I want to study my biology because I want to learn about photosynthesis, right? You get to find out that this is more direct than just saying I want to study biology. You understand? So whenever you want to study, you must make sure you have a goal. You must just make sure you have something you want to achieve, because at this particular time, when you have a direct stuff you want to achieve, it keeps you energized, it keeps you activated, it keeps you motivated to continue pushing. You understand? Unlike the one that no goals, you just feel like studying and you want to study your biology. You understand? So always make sure you have a goal whenever you want to study. Secondly, is involving or indulging in passive reading. You understand? That is what a lot of us do. That is what we do. Passive reading, where you just keep your book and you start studying and stuff like that. It doesn't work that way actually. It doesn't work that way actually. Passive reading, you can read passively, but just know that it's not going to reflect your effort. You can spend hours, you can spend 5 hours studying passively, but that still doesn't mean you are going to pass your exams. You understand? So for you to pass your exam, is that you should dish out the passive reading and go into what's known as the active reading or the active learning technique. You understand? From the name active means you are active. You understand? So there are a lot of active learning technique. We have the famous technique number one. So the famous technique is one that you finish studying, and instead of just closing your book and say, okay, you are done for the day, what you do is try to teach an imaginary audience what you just finished reading. You understand? You can decide to teach your brother, your younger brother, even your cat, you understand, in the house. You can decide to teach it. You understand? So that is what is known as famous technique. Famous technique is really helpful, and famous technique works hand in hand with another technique that is known as the active recall. So the active recall is one that you finish reading. So when you finish reading, instead of you just closing that book, you understand, instead of you just closing the book and say, okay, I am done with my studies, what you simply do is you close the book and try to see how you can quiz yourself, see how you can ask yourself questions on what you just finished reading. You understand? In case it's very possible that you can just finish reading a particular topic right now and you forget some things in it. The only way you can get to know that you're forgotten some things in it is when you involve the famous technique and the active recall. You understand? So there's also the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is simply studying in short focus block. I'm going to talk more about this Pomodoro technique when I'll be listing the number 4 tip. You understand? The number 4 tip. So the number 3 is no exam practice. No exam practice is also one of the reasons a lot of people fail exam. You understand? You want to write an exam and you are not getting acquainted with the past questions. You want to write an exam, you are not getting yourself acquainted with past question, practice questions. You understand? So like let's use an exam like jam. You understand? Or let's even use exam like post because you're already done with the jam. You want to write post and you don't have your school post past question. How are you sure that you are really ready for the exams? You understand? Because the past questions reveals to you patterns. The past question reveals to you how exam works in that particular school. So if you're a Nigerian and you're watching this video and you need to tell me past question for any school, feel free to chat me up on WhatsApp on 070-6246-2746 so that you get access to these past questions and answers. You understand? So you must make sure you practice past questions if you actually want to pass your exams. And number 4, which I talked about when I was talking about the Pomodoro technique, is simply cramming without spacing. You understand? Cramming without what? Spacing, right? So the Pomodoro technique, which is studying the short focus block, right, is one that you want to study, right? Instead of just sitting down to study for straight 5 hours, what you simply do is that if you want to study for 5 hours, you study for 50 minutes, have a 10-minute break. Or by study for 50 minutes, have a 10-minute break. It really helps you release reduces as anxiety and tension and stuff like that. Also, there's something that is known as there's something that's known as the space repetition, right? Because I'm talking about cramming without spacing. A lot of people just cram. They want to use one day and cram everything. As you are cramming, there's something that's known as la cram la forget. You understand? So you cram and you forget. You understand my point? So what I'm saying is that when you do the the space repetition, what you simply do is you can try to cram that month there, but I'm not a fan of cramming. But if you feel it is really necessary, you can cram the first day, cram the first day, then you space out. Let's say you cram on Monday, you space out your Tuesday, and you go back on Wednesday and try to review what you have learned. Then on Thursday or on Friday, you try to do study questions on it. You will get to find out that you are just trying to cram one, but in the course of you doing this space repetition, you will not just cram, but you will be able to understand what you have read. You understand? At this particular point in time, you'll be transitioning from cramming to really understanding what you have read. And also, number last the number last the last tip I have here, right, the number 5 tip, which is the last, is studying alone without feedback. I know a lot of students love studying alone. Studying alone is cool, studying alone is sweet, right? But when you study alone without feedback from your friends, from your cousins, from your coursemate, from even a lecturer or professor, it's really dangerous because you won't be able to assess yourself. Yes, and that is why schools write continuous assessment, right? Because the continuous assessment serves like a feedback mechanism, right? It gets to let you know what you're supposed to do and how far you have gone and the mistakes that you are still making, right? So for those of you that don't write continuous assessment in your school, I wonder how you actually do it by just studying without actually assessing yourself. You can also assess yourself using past questions or even your friends, right? You can form a tutorial group. You can get someone that you are accountable to, you understand, and that will really help you. If you are looking for help for your post-UTME, I will be organizing a post-UTME study class very soon. And if you're also interested to join our 100-day study challenge, feel free to drop it in the comment section. Just say I'm interested to join the study challenge and I will send you our WhatsApp group link. So which of these tips you are going to try right away? Which of these tips you are going to try right away before your next exam, so that you won't just spend hours studying without seeing the reflected result? If you love this video and you also wish to continue getting videos like this, to continue getting educative and helpful videos like this, please don't forget to hit on the red subscribe button. Also share this video to your friends so that they can come here and get value, and in turn I'll feel motivated to continue dropping videos like this. Until I see you in my next video, always remember that you're wonderful, always remember that you're unique, and always remember that you're a pace setter. I really love you. Thank you.